Host Scott Duff.
And a happy Sunday fun day to everybody out there. Scott Duff here, along with a little more festive.
We are both wearing gray.
You got like a beatnik polar bear.
Beatnik polar bear with a beanie and...
it looks like it's a beret. Like it really looks like that.
It is a beret.
That polar bear does poetry at a coffee shop.
I think beatnik is a very apt description.
Yeah, it's great.
You got to tune into Facebook Live to see what Scott's talking about.
It's true. Hey, happy holidays, everybody out there. The holidays are indeed upon us. And, we decided to reflect on some of the things that brought us comfort and joy this year. So we are going to be revisiting some of the fabulous conversations we have had throughout the year, but also because it is the holiday season. It's been a while, but we've got prizes.
Ooh,
I love prizes.
Who doesn't, especially this time of year?
I know. So throughout the show, we're going to be giving away a $25 gift card for Fry the Coop. Who doesn't love hot chicken?
I know I do.
I love hot
I do too.
chicken.
So does Kathy. She hotter the better.
I know. Oof. Oof. Love it. Well, because she's got family in Nashville.
Yeah.
That's the birthplace of that. That's it. That's what it's all about. And we are giving the one and only Kathy Griffin, who's been on the show multiple times. She is coming to town with her brand new show, My Life on the PTSD List.
Eve.
She's going to be here for New Year's Eve.
I kind of want to go to that show.
I totally want to go.
Those tickets.
I can't, but we're going to be giving away tickets for our show at the Chicago Theater.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's great.
Some lucky winner.
Yeah. And of course,
I'm available that night, by the way. So.
Oh, all right. All right. Yeah. Oh, you are.
Yeah, I am.
Win a night out with Ellen Miller.
Oh, wow.
I mean,
could you imagine if we did that? The whole raffle off date nights with the
people
hosts.
do it for charity all the time.
I know.
A night out. I don't know if I can say what I want to do, but it involves a little bit of lighters with you guys. I enjoy having a night doing that with you guys.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yeah. We can light fires and things and make s'mores and do all that stuff. That'd be a real good time.
Yeah,
that'd be a real good time.
I like it.
That would be fun.
So so today we're kind of doing things a little bit differently. It's going to be all about comfort and joy. What brought you comfort and joy this year, or even just this week? Sometimes we just got to narrow the scope down.
That's how I'm on a day-to-day joy basis.
Right, that is what it's supposed to be. So give us a call, 773-763-9278. The number again is 773-763-9278. And of course, you can find us on Facebook, where we're coming at you live. You can see our sweaters and our beatnik polar bears over there. So just head on over to Out Chicago Radio, and while you're at it, give us a click and a like and a share. What?
You're on YouTube now, too.
Oh, we're on YouTube.
Get out of town.
What?
Oh, God, we're everywhere.
We're everywhere. Just like Visa. Yeah. Everywhere you want to be.
That's where we are.
There we are. And also you can follow, make sure you follow WCPT and our sister network, Heartland Signal, on all of the social medias and YouTube, apparently. How you doing, Ellen Miller?
Not bad. We have had a full week of holiday fun.
Yes. I know that you weren't feeling well this week, and I texted you on Tuesday, and I'm like, you're going to go see Manual Cinema's Christmas Carol. And you were like, I don't know, I'm kind of sick.
I had woke up in the middle of the night, early Tuesday morning with full body aches.
Oh, fun.
And we had been at a party the night before, the VIX 40th anniversary, the VIX Theater.
Oh, yeah.
It was the 40th anniversary of it being opened as a live music venue. I was there from the beginning. When I was working at XRT, I was a sales rep that handled worked on the advertising with the then owners, and wow, talk about a who's who.
I bet it was a stroll down memory lane. Oh my
God, so many musicians and people and radio and record people and music people, and my brother was there, my sister was there, because they're both in the industry, and it was just a night that you didn't want to end, because it was just everywhere you looked, you're hugging something.
How wonderful.
The sickness. But Scott was like, I hope you don't miss that, man. I go, yeah. And Kathy's like, I really want to see it. But actually, it was one of those 24-hour bug things, I think. Yeah. I felt well enough.
I wasn't just tired.
Yeah, I wasn't cough. Well, it was day, 7 of holiday fun. So we did go to Manuel Cinema on Tuesday night, and
Manual.
It's
not Manuel.
It's Manuel.
Manuel Cinema is a lovely man.
That's right, Manuel Cinema, because it's done by hand. It is poignant.
Wasn't it just amazing?
And, it is you can't imagine how these cardboard puppets could emote. You get so much emotion out of it. But Kathy couldn't stop thinking about it. We were a little teary-eyed, both of us. And we just loved it. It was 70 minutes long, which was perfect for our. And we were in the beautiful Studebaker Theater.
I love the Studebaker.
Which I'm embarrassed to say I had not been there since the Talking Heads Stop Making Sense movie, which played there for like a year back in the day.
Wow.
And got in trouble for getting high in the theater. Not by the theater, but by some pesky woman sitting in back of us.
That's hilarious.
We were young. I was in, my early 30s. Anyway, 20s, whatever it was. But a beautiful theater, and when you go down to the restrooms, they have storyboards of the history of the theater, which is just mind-blowing, and I am just constantly amazed, Scott, at what this city offers us. If we go out, we don't need to travel. Just go run or just do something different every time downtown.
Now, I know it was a shorter run.
Yeah.
Is it still going to be now?
It's still going. I believe it's going to early January. I brought my program.
I should look that up. But let me tell you,
I
will tell you again, this is something that you should not miss. It is an incredible show. It's Manual Cinema's A Christmas Carol. It is basically, it feels like a one-person show, but there are like 5 or 6 puppeteers that are involved.
Yes, it is.
It's hard to explain, and in an accurate way where you totally get the emotional impact.
It really is. You just have to go, and you have until the 29th to get there.
Great. Go
to get there. They did something interesting. I don't know if you got to experience this when you went, but they invited, since it was the opening night of this run, they invited audience members to come on stage and see the behind the scenes look at how it's done. And I don't know if you saw on Facebook, but we were actually able to peek into the little theater. How do you describe it?
Basically the conceit of the show is it takes place during COVID times. We're all in our house, and there is this lovely woman who is carrying on the tradition. Her husband who died.
Aunt Trudy.
Is it her husband or her partner?
Her late husband. Well, they never really married, but she considers him her husband.
Yes, he had passed away, and he used to do a puppet show of Christmas Carol for the family. And so she's doing it over Zoom, begrudgingly. Maybe with a little Scrooge-ish energy.
Scrooge energy, yes.
Yeah, and then it goes on from there. So a lot of it takes place within this little tiny puppet theater that is projected on the screen.
Yeah. So we got to be behind the puppet theater, and one of the stars of the show, the young man that plays the delivery. I don't want to spoil anything, but one of the young men that's in the show, he offered to take our picture. So we were both in the puppet theater and then on the projection on the screen.
I saw that.
It was really a sweet thing, and everybody was gracious, and they were showing us, and the puppets, and they're just handmade. And to think they have so many that they have to keep pulling up and putting up there. And
I told you I saw it 2 years in a row.
Yeah.
And both times I just sat there this is a nightmare for a stage manager.
Yeah,
because of all the preset for that show, because everything has to be in order, and where they can just kind of grab and do things.
Yep. Yeah, it's in order. You have to have them in order, and they didn't miss a beat. So that was a lovely way to spend, to get you in the holiday spirit. Downtown looked beautiful. Then we had a couple nights of rest, and then Friday night, Andrew Saw, who was on the show a few weeks ago promoting his Lonesome Holiday, he'd had 4 sold-out shows at the Hideout. Friday night was the last of the 4. It was a spectacular evening of whimsy and music and gaiety and just... again,
definitely gaiety,
lots of gaiety, and he's such a great performer. I have a little crush on him, I have to admit.
Who doesn't?
He's so cute and so nice and so talented. That is the triple threat there: cute, nice, and talented. Scott.
Yes.
That's why I like you too.
Thank you.
But he also, like you, he's taken, and so am I. But his partner is a very sweet guy. I met him last year. But anyway, it was a beautiful night, a lot of fun. Got to meet with Andrew afterwards. I told him, watching this show, I was thinking, if I was in Europe traveling around and I was looking for a real authentic experience, a cultural experience, we're always seeking out music when we travel, and I came upon this event at the Hideout, I would have said, wow, I'm so lucky to be here. And I told him that after the show, that it's just, they came out on stage and did an intimate, they had a fake cardboard bonfire, and they stood in front of the Hideout stage, and they brought up the lights, and they did some singing. We sang, I forget the song, but a spiritual that people know, and people sang, and it's just like, this is what it's all about. This is why we do what we do. This is why we live where we live. It's why we love like we love, because these moments when you are communing with people over music and holidays and just general love, it just doesn't get any better.
I love it.
And I really had we had that great experience. So then yesterday we went over to G-Man, where our friend Joe Shanahan, who owns Metro and G-Man Tavern, he was spinning Christmas tunes along with some favorite punk and classic rock favorites.
All right.
And always a great time. A ton of people show up. Our friend Beth Silverman was there.
Oh, yeah.
Betsy Shepard, who's another PR friend. John Sauce from Jam. It's just always fun. And I surprised Joe with one of his college friends, who's one of my best friends. We all went to college together.
What?
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, so our dog's doing better.
Look, it was a good week.
Kathy's going to be home for Christmas. I'm feeling better, so I have no complaints, my friend. I'm feeling very, very blessed. How about you? Tell me about
it was
your week.
I've been busy. Basically, like, I had one day to do all of my holiday shopping.
Did you go out and do it?
I did.
Okay.
I also got like a lot of parking tickets, which was very upsetting.
Oh, you don't use that meter app?
No, I did, but like I went down, like I was down like in Lakeview, Lincoln Park, and I'm like, oh, there we are. And I'm like, oh, boop, 2 hours. And then well, I am walking around like I'm going from store to store, and I was like, I wonder how much time I have left on my meter. Oh, I didn't push it on. I didn't.
Oh, you never did it.
I never completed it. So I was like,
shoot.
It's like, oh, this is bad. And there were 2 tickets.
Two?
Yeah, because there's no city sticker.
You better get that taken
care of.
getting
that taken
And if you go do it, I think they will. I don't remember. They used to, if you bought it right away and you contest it, they'll let you slide. So you don't have to pay the fine and the city sticker.
That one's a pretty steep fine.
Yeah, that's the last thing you need around the holidays. I'm sorry about that.
That was fine. But Friday, it started out kind of poopy because I got that ticket. But I was like still having a great time. I'm like, oh, look, I'm buying this and I'm buying this. And I'll buy this for me.
That happens.
As I do.
That happens.
But then, I went back. I got like all of Jerry's stuff done. And so I was like, I'm going to come back. Like, let's go walk the dog, and then we'll go out and do some shopping ourselves. And we looked really cute. Like, we looked really... Okay, this is so superficial and dumb, but when I tell you, multiple people stopped us to tell us how cute we look.
Aww.
We had somebody in... It was great.
And it wasn't even candid camera or anything.
It wasn't even candid camera.
Like,
and it was like, because we went to Lincoln Square. We were walking around there. There was somebody who was like going,
Did you like have reindeer antlers on or something?
No, we just looked really cute. Like we got kind of dolled up. You know, Jerry looked like had this like fabulous sweater and this big old hat and everything.
Couple.
And somebody was like, oh my God, you two look like you're in a Hallmark movie. I'm like, thank you.
Oh, yeah.
We know. We know. So we just had like a lovely day, like walking around Lincoln Square with all the lights up, and it's so beautiful over there.
It is. I've been there quite a few times this week.
This year they've got like a new menorah. That's up there. Like it's a huge menorah, but it's
in
like
the square. It's
in the square. It's like there's like the Christmas tree. There's a menorah. There's like a whole bunch of stuff that's going on. But it really like the way that it lights up. It looks like it is shooting energy into the earth. Ooh, it is so weird. I'm like that is intense.
That's an intense.
So we did
menorah.
that, and then we walked around Andersonville, and we got some goodies and treats and things, and it was a lovely day. And then we got home, and that night we were kind of like, what do we do? Like within like 5 minutes of us walking in the door, we're like, oh, we're hungry. We don't know what's going on. There was a fire built. We just pulled out stuff from the fridge. So like, oh, we have this pate. So we had like pate and cornichon and Jerry boiled up some eggs.
This is Scott's refrigerator has a little different.
I know, it's a little weird.
Yours does out there in
a little bit,
but
a little bit.
What makes it special.
And then I started prepping. Like I spent that night preparing the stuff for a mushroom Wellington because our friends came up from Texas.
And they're vegetarians.
And they got married this week. They got married on the 19th, our friends Kelly and Adithi. And last night we had a big celebration for them.
Oh, in your place?
No, over our other friends.
Okay.
But yes. But I will tell you about that. And there's also like a weird thing about that because, of course, you've got, Kelly and Adithi, a queer couple, coming in, and they live in Texas, and they were like, nope, we have to get married now. So we're going to dive into that in a little bit.
Okay.
We should probably take a little breaky poo.
Sure.
But you know what? I think we need to give away prizes.
Let's do that.
Look, okay.
Yeah.
I love her. I love her so much.
I love her too, and I hope she gets a good turnout at the theater.
I bet you she will. Because she's a hometown girl. Of course, we're talking about Kathy Griffin. She's a passionate advocate for the LGBTQIA plus community, for women and other disenfranchised groups. And she's also a cancer survivor herself, and the hilarious fiery redhead. Kathy Griffin is bringing her My Life on the PTSD List to the Chicago Theater on December 31st. You can celebrate your New Year's Eve with belly laughs. A limited number of great seats opened up starting at $43.50. And so you should hurry up and grab your tickets now. To purchase tickets, you can go to Ticketmaster.com. But you can also be caller number 3 right now to get a pair of tickets to go see Kathy Griffin at the Chicago Theater on New Year's Eve for My Life on the PTSD List. So give us a call, 773-763-9278. That number again is 773-763-9278. Caller number 3, you will get 2 tickets to go see Kathy Griffin's My Life on the PTSD List at the Chicago Theater.
And she's got her voice back. She lost it due to the surgery.
Oh, really?
Yes, and she was on Kimmel a couple weeks ago, and she is back. She sounds great.
Well,
she made a nice
just want to
recovery.
remind everybody that contests running on WCPT 820 are open to listeners 18 or older, residents of the greater Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana area. 1 entry per person, 1 winner per household. Void where prohibited by law. Listeners may only win or qualify to win once every 30 days, so don't be greedy. Complete rules are available on our website at WCPT820.com by clicking the contest tab. So we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, there's more Out Chicago right here on WCPT Heartland Signal.
Choose Views with Richard Chew.
Devin and Henry and Alex do such a great job for me and our show. And then, of course, there's Lady B and there's Paul and all the rest. They have to sit a lot. They've got to manage boards in here. They've got to go back to the other engineering room. And I've oftentimes said these guys, they get around on roller skate. But I looked up and Devin was shaking his leg. And I was like, you all right, man? He's like, yeah, leg kind of fell asleep. Because I thought he was over there doing a stanky leg dance.
Richard Chew. Weekday mornings at 6.
This is a WCPT Civil Rights Snapshot. The National Afro-American League, or the NAAL, was formed in 1887 by Timothy Thomas Fortune. Fortune sought to create one of the first all-black civil rights groups in the nation. Being born into slavery and seeing the rise of groups like the KKK, he felt as he needed to fight these injustices by giving a voice to those without one. He proposed the formation of this group in his editorials for the New York Age. He founded the group with the goal of combating suppression of voting rights and inequalities in black and white school funding, among other inequalities. For instance, many groups went about tackling lynching and Jim Crow laws, while other groups instead focused on swaying political opinion and gaining political power. The first national conference took place in Chicago in 1890, where they ratified the Constitution, committed to the fight for the rights of African Americans across the nation. After years of financial hardships, the NAAL split up in 1893. This wasn't the end of their fight by any means, though, as they sowed the seeds of change for future groups like the NAACP to come and change the world. Please stay vigilant about our civil rights. The fight is never over.
This is WCPT 820, where facts matter.
I'm Jen Grosshandler.
And I'm Chazzy Grosshandler.
We're with the Gender Cool Project, and you're listening to
Out Chicago!
Woot!
Woot, indeed. Woot, woot, indeed. Welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ella Miller, rolling along, talking about comfort and joy and everything. It was like, I have to say, we were so freaking cute on our little
People
shopping.
stopped you. They must have been amazingly super cute.
No, I'm like, again, this is very superficial, and I'm a superficial person. Multiple people in multiple locations commented. A Russian man, I think, started hitting on Jerry Dye.
Oh, well. He's a handsome
There you go.
creature.
Yeah, there you go. You feel pretty. I loved it. Yeah. But our friends. So this week we also had a big celebration. Our friends Kelly and Adithi.
Yes.
They were Chicago residents. They're now in Texas. They came back to Chicago to get married.
Are they 2 women or 2 men?
2 women.
Okay. Because Kelly, that name could go
That's
either way.
true. That is true. That is yes.
Okay, don't assume anything.
They're 2 queer folks.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Kelly is more on the gender spectrum.
Okay.
Uses they, them pronouns or she, her, just all with respect, but they're definitely, yes. And but they are really just dear, dear, dear friends of ours. And we were very excited to be hosting them, just to throw a party for them.
Sure.
And they're vegetarian. And man, oh man, have you ever tried to cook a vegetarian celebration meal that just looks like something? You know, where it's like, instead of it's a bunch of sides or pasta.
Right.
You know, I just wanted to make it look special.
You want to look like an entree.
Yeah. So we ended up we made, it was a beautiful feast.
We've weeded out a lot of our vegetarian friends, so we don't have
did
to
you?
do it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Because we don't like to have to cook like that. No, I'm just kidding. I love vegetables. But.
I love vegetables as well too. So I made this beautiful mushroom Wellington. I roasted a whole head of cauliflower that I'd poached and loveliness and roasted.
If anybody can take vegetables to another level,
and it was
Scott,
it's
I
me.
Trust you can do
it's
it.
Me. It's me.
I can't.
It was
here's some olive oil and some seasoning.
There you go. Now we made it just spectacular, wonderful. Made this port wine reduction. Mwah. It was gorgeous.
For the mushroom.
For the mushroom Wellington, and then the roasted cauliflower was sitting on a bed of creme fraiche with black olive granola. It was lovely, lovely. But it was like a weird. It was a kind of a mixed bag moment because they were like, we have to get married now because they're scared. And I think we all are.
And how long have they been together?
Oh, years. I don't know. Years. We'll say that. But they're just worried about the incoming administration.
Yes, aren't we all?
And what might be coming down the pike in terms of marriage equality. A lot of people are, even the Supreme Court has been saying that, we might be, this is probably on the chopping block. I don't know. I'm a little more optimistic.
I'm definitely optimistic about that, but go on.
But I have a feeling though, if they're going to do anything, if they want to bring back DOMA, the Defense of Marriage Act, I have a feeling that it will go to a state by state thing, kind of like how they're doing with reproductive rights and reproductive health care. That's kind of what I am thinking. I don't know about you. But I want everybody out there to just kind of think about that. So, if marriage equality is struck down or it's turned over to the states, you're now dealing with a lot of people whose marriages will not be legal depending on where they live.
Yeah, like we're dealing with reproductive rights, as you said, which is a nightmare.
Yeah, and this is still
wrong.
It's wrong. It's still a part of me that I'm still kind of gobsmacked.
I'm being more. You know what? I think we know he who remained nameless chose all of the hot button issues for his less educated followers. I would like to call them undereducated, shall we call them? A lot of them, because they didn't pay attention. he hit in all the things of all their fears, and when his whole goal and everything he does is to win.
Yeah.
He doesn't really have a goal to accomplish. He only has a goal to win power. And I don't think this country has a big enough appetite to turn over the marriage equality in this country.
Yeah, I don't think so. It's far too popular, I think.
I really do. And before it was the law of the land, all the statistics pointed towards the majority of Americans felt people should be able to marry who they want. Now, not everybody, but the majority.
Right, yeah.
And I think that now that people have gotten married and more people that people know in their families, in their lives are married, do you think people, even Republicans, are going to want to see a couple that they may have come to know all of a sudden have their marriage not count in a state, or not have the opportunity to get married if they haven't gotten married? So I am optimistic that is just a lot of his blowhard BS, and that I don't think they're going to change.
Okay.
That's
right.
my hope.
All right. I appreciate your optimism. That I kind of agree, but I think, so that's why I think, like, if something does happen, because who knows, like, SCOTUS is...
Well, SCOTUS, we can't count on them for anything
at all. But
no.
they're like, but they come up and they see this case again, or decide to overturn it, like Obergefell. I think it will go back to a state's thing.
I mean, that would be the absolute worst case scenario, I think.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm packing for. But with that said, we were able to celebrate the two of them.
Very nice.
They are just amazing human beings. It was our chosen family. It felt very much like a holiday kind of like meal and moment that we were all gathered together to just be with each other and to celebrate love and to celebrate the creation of something new and just and creating in general. And it was a really, really wonderful night. And then we played dominoes until about 2:00 in the morning, and I'm so tired.
Yeah, I hear you.
But again, folks, like this is what people are really fearful about.
I know, isn't that sad? Just to show their love for one another and do what people have been doing for centuries, which is commit to one another in a legal way.
Yeah. So
I'm glad you got to do that for them.
Me too. It was lovely. We also did a white elephant thing. Oh my gosh, I totally forgot. I have something for you.
Oh,
here. There. I got you a little present.
Should I open it on the air?
Yeah. Speaking of like little white elephants,
let me be perfectly queer.
I got you a T-shirt from the best, and I also have one myself.
Let me be perfectly queer.
We are now twinsies. We have Let Me Be Perfectly Queer. Yes. We are twinsies. Little shirts
Scott.
here from Raygun in Andersonville. They are an awesome company. They're based out of Iowa.
Oh, I love it.
Everything is made here. It's a very large small though. So just
that's okay. Yeah, that's okay.
But
I
yes,
love it.
so now we have. I thought we've been on the air for so long that we should have matching shirts so we can be twins. So
let's plan on wearing
a
them
little
soon.
happy. I have mine on right now.
Oh, maybe I'll change into mine. I'm getting hot in here.
There we are. But yes, so we did white elephants, and we passed everything around. I got a beautiful ceramic mug. So yes, so again, trying to find joy, trying to find cheer. We should probably take a quick break because there were some things that we're celebrating comfort and joy today. There was an absolutely brilliant show at Steppenwolf this year that's heading to the Broadway, and we had one of their stars in the studio to talk. So we're going to take a break. Also, congratulations, Andy from Evanston. He's going to go see Kathy Griffin.
Lucky you, Andy.
I know, Kathy Griffin. My Life at the PTSD. My Life on the PTSD list at the Chicago Theater on December 31st. Go to Ticketmaster.com for tickets, but Andy didn't have to because he got two. Anyway, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, there's more Out Chicago right after this.
The Hal Sparks radio program.
We wouldn't even have Tesla if it wasn't for Barack Obama. Obama insisted that there be funding for electric car companies in the rescue package in 2009. And Tesla was the single biggest beneficiary of it because they were further ahead, because Elon Musk had bought Tesla as a company outright and was pretending to run it. as he does right now.
Hal Sparks, Saturdays from 11 to 1 on WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk.
Make this season even brighter by lighting up every drive with the unrivaled performance of a new Porsche from the Porsche Exchange in Highland Park. Stop in today to test drive the latest models, including a new 2025 Porsche Cayenne. And right now, lease a new 2025 Macan Electric for $999 a month for 39 months. Visit the Porsche Exchange in Highland Park or PorscheExchange.com. 8,609 due at signing. Excludes tax, title, license, and dock fee. No security deposit required. Expires 1/2/25.
Snakes, zombies, sharks, heights, speaking in public. The list of fears is endless. But while you're clutching your blanket in the dark, wondering if that sound in the hall was actually a footstep, the real danger is in your hand, when you're behind the wheel. And while you might think a great white shark is scary, what's really terrifying and even deadly is distracted driving. Eyes forward, don't drive distracted. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
This is WCPT 820, where facts matter.
Welcome back. I'm improviser Matthew Van Colton. You're listening to Out Chicago on WCPT 820.
Welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here, along with Ella Miller, rolling along. And I got to go to the phones because I think my nephew is calling in. Hello, is this Jared?
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you? What's going on?
I'm doing awesome.
Yeah.
I was just scrolling Facebook and saw that you guys were live, and then I saw the ticket promo, and I thought I might call in, and then I don't know, obviously I didn't win, so I thought I'd just say hello.
Oh, all right. Well, I'm sorry you didn't win.
Well, nice to meet you.
I don't think you could have won because we're related.
Oh, no, he could win. He
could win?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, it sucks to be you.
I thought that might be an issue as
You
well.
You didn't, though, Jared. Just remember that. I cannot wait to see you. I cannot wait to see you on Thursday.
I know. We're so excited.
We're very, very excited. We're doing a big Boxing Day celebration.
Oh, I love that.
And Jared and his wife are hosting our whole family, so we're all going to be coming in.
Oh, nice.
Doing it. What time is it happening, by the way? I haven't asked you.
You show up anytime after noon. Meal will be served around 3.
Fabulous. Excellent. Excellent.
And anyone else listening?
All right, everybody, come on over. It'll be great.
Jared. Looking forward to meeting you.
It'll be great. I can't believe that you called it. I love that. So, what have you all been doing? What have you and Katie been doing to celebrate getting ready for the holidays?
We've run errands, trying to make sure we can fit all the people in our house.
Oh, yeah.
Rearranging things.
Decluttering, right?
Well, they've got a very large dog and then a new dog as well.
Oh.
Yes.
That makes for some fun.
Yes. All right. Well, hey, buddy. Thanks for calling in. Sorry you didn't win those tickets. Listen.
It's okay.
Hey, keep listening because you might be able to win some a gift certificate to Fry the Coop. Who doesn't love hot chicken?
Oh, that's one of my favorites.
I know, right? I know. You used to live over in Jefferson Park, so yeah. There we go.
Excellent.
All right, my friend. I sure do love you. I cannot wait to see you and Katie and everybody. We're leaving Emmet at home so we can actually enjoy everything, because there's going to be dogs.
Yeah.
Lots of dogs.
Good idea.
5 dogs.
Lots of dogs going on. But I cannot wait to see you this week.
All right, sounds good. Love you too.
Bye.
Merry Christmas, Jared.
Wow, I got a phone call from my family.
Aw, I wish one of mine would listen, but I don't think any of them do.
Well, there we go.
Yeah, Kathy listens.
Kathy listens.
That's all I care
the
about.
most important
That's the
one.
most important
That's
one.
the most important one. Well, that just brought me a lot of comfort and joy.
Oh, that's sweet.
And something that, we're looking back, it's the end of the year, and we thought we would look at things that make us happy. And this past spring, Steppenwolf premiered Brandon Jacob Jenkins' Purpose. It's an epic family drama following the Jasper family, a pillar of Black American politics. And now it's headed to Broadway next year. And we were fortunate enough to speak with one of the crazy talented ensemble members, Ayana Bria Bikari, during the Chicago run at Steppenwolf. And here is our conversation. Super duper excited to have our guest here in studio. Look, Steppenwolf has a bona fide hit on their hand with the world premiere of Brandon Jacob Jenkins' Purpose. It is an epic family drama following the Jasper family, which is a pillar of Black American politics. run, don't walk to see this show and the incredible cast. And joining us now is one of those people from the incredible cast, Ayana Bria Bikari. Welcome to the show.
Hello, everyone.
Nice
I'm so
to
happy
see
to be
you.
here.
Nice to have you.
Thank you for being here. First of all, congratulations. Ellen and I both saw the show opening week. Look, you know you're in for a treat when you walk into Steppenwolf and you see a dining room table. Because if there's a dining room table, you know stuff is going to go down. Congrats. How is the run going?
The run is going spectacularly. Like, the people are showing up and showing out and engaging with the play. The audiences are roaring. We are feeling so supported on stage by, the responses that we are receiving from the people and the team at Steppenwolf. Everybody's just so excited about this play. It truly is a blessing.
Yeah. I cannot remember the last time I was in a theater where there were so many collective gasps and like, what? No. And like, I'm a goofball and I think things are funny that are weird. So if like 500 people, I'll go, I will tend to laugh at that because like, that's funny. You are not laughing because you're going, you don't want to miss anything that's going to happen. That has got to be just like, as a performer, like, okay, this is very rare.
And how about the fact that after the first act was over, I've never heard this in all my years. People were hooping and hollering before the intermission. You never hear that at the end. Then
we don't need an intermission. Let's just get right to the next part.
It's like, oh my God! It just, it jumped off the page. I mean,
thank you.
It's something special for sure, and everybody felt it, and everybody is continuing to feel it in the theater. I know we were going to ask you about the rehearsal process. One of my friends is on the production team, and he was telling us at the party after opening night that Felicia was literally giving you pages a day or two before opening.
Well, not Miss Felicia. It was Brandon.
I'm sorry.
Brandon was working until the very last second.
It was Brandon.
Right?
I misspoke, and that she did not flinch. He said these pages came in and she was just didn't just write in. I think maybe it has a lot to do with her work in sitcom work where they were constantly doing that, and she knew that that's how it goes. But the fact that you all could do that 2 days beforehand, you're getting a new page, and you were. And now, one time I noticed, I think you might have ad-libbed a line on opening night, maybe one word that was so perfect that you got a laugh out of it. And I was not sure if that word, it was like a word you were at the dinner table, and it just seemed like it was a part of what you were supposed to say, and maybe you threw in an extra word.
Oh, at that point, I don't think I was throwing in extra words. I was trying to make sure I was saying all the right words. But if I did,
it was, you got to laugh. I mean, you were just, everybody in the cast is just phenomenal.
I think that also just goes to the brilliance of the entire cast.
And I just want to say, to the point you were talking about us getting new pages, like Miss Felicia reminded us that our purpose here is to serve the play. Until it is, until, and to continue to serve the play until we're done. But our rehearsal process was to serve and to support Brandon's process as well. And I don't think, we were a great group of people that could execute and support him in that process, because like he said, he was giving us pages and we were on book and on script until the day before opening night. And but we were here for it, because anytime he came with new pages, we would be like, "Oh my God, give me,
what else do we have to do?"
Right.
Because it's like, how long have you been? I know this play has been in development for quite some time. How long have you been involved with it? Did you just come up with this?
I became involved with it, I'll say, when I booked the job in, I think it was sometime in November, and then we had a workshop in January, and then we started rehearsal in February.
So because I think there was a previous workshop maybe a couple of years ago. So you were like, all right, we're going in.
This was my year for this production, yes.
As an actor, I love working on new work because it really is. I'll speak for myself, but like, what is it about? You speak for you. What is it about working, like creating a new piece that's just so like
Well, it's the autonomy, it's the freedom, it's the flexibility that the team, the director, and the playwright afford the actors that I love. That we get to build these characters from scratch, and they can be anything we make them, or they can just be us. And I think I played a lot around in the beginning with like trying to figure out who this woman is, just, you know, simply based off the information that I was provided in the rehearsal process. And I think once we finally got Act 2, I was able to use the language I created in developing the first act of the play and translate it into the second act. So it carried over. It was easily carried over. Though the only hard part was just memorizing everything.
It's a talky play.
Okay. Wow. We all have a moment in this play where we're all like, we have a really profound opinion about something, and Brandon allows us to be heard and allows us to take the time to speak on those things that we're so passionate about, or that we consider our purposes.
You don't want to miss, because there's laughter, there's gasping, there's scoffing. You don't want to miss a line, because every one of them is just great. You know, it's written so it's easy to listen to, it's easy to hear, and you're just hanging on every word. I just want to, for our listeners, we keep referring to Felicia. Let's just make sure we know it's Felicia Rashad is the director, who was known for her work on The Cosby Show as Bill Cosby's wife.
She's an incredible director.
And incredible everything. Yeah. Okay, a teacher, inspiration, director, actor, just human being overall. Like, she really worked with us to get us to the root and the life of the play, so that even when we didn't have the script, like I said, talking about the language translating into the second act, it was so important that she built that in us in the beginning, so that when we did come to the pages, we were able to hop on it and jump on it and complete the story, because we've already done all this groundwork and foundational work with our characters in the beginning.
Exactly. For sure. The other thing I heard from my internal sources was everybody in the cast was awesome. He said there's always like a stinker. There's always, you know what I mean? There's always like some actor that's a little bit of a prima.
No. We all smell good in this play.
But everybody smells good in this play.
Okay. I got that. Smelling rich. Okay. Smelling good.
And you know, it shows, because it's a flawless, it's, you know, nothing's perfect, but this show is just, it's what you want out of a play. It's, and if you've been a long time Steppenwolf supporter and theater goer, you know that sometimes it's, you know, they don't always happen as frequently as you wish. This kind of feeling, the August Osage County feeling that we had I was at opening night of that show, and we knew greatness was happening there, and we all felt, those of us that were there felt that same greatness and future for the show, which. Right away, my first words, I came home, I didn't care about any reviews, I said, this show is Broadway bound and Tony bound. I mean, really. And is there, you know, I know you probably can't, is there talk of it?
Listen,
can you
people
give us
talk, talk, but I'm waiting for the email, I'm waiting for the I'm waiting to read it, you know.
I'm coming to New York. I'm coming to New York.
Shoot, I'm coming too, and I hope so. I hope they want me, you know, but I'm just saying, like, all the talk is great, because the more we put that energy into the universe, I mean,
yes.
How can the universe deny
It's going to happen.
Well, so if you're just joining us, we are speaking with Ayana Bria Bikari, part of the incredible cast of the ensemble piece, Purpose, that is having its world premiere at Steppenwolf right now. You play Aziza, who is kind of like, that would be the role I'd want to play.
Yeah,
because it is like, it's the outsider. You are the fish out of water.
The guest,
the guest into this home, which, when it is, you're dealing with this very important family. And I believe it's your character who, there's so many incredible speeches. Like,
no, go ahead.
But there's talking about Black excellence and about what it means to live up to that.
Yeah, I think that's the character Morgan.
Morgan, okay, yeah.
Well, she's talking to Naz,
I can't
Alana Bria.
She scares the crap.
Oh my God, she's fire.
She is fire in the whole thing. That Act 1, she might have 5 lines, I think, but I'm like, look out.
The loudest one in the room.
The loudest one in the room, yeah. But there's like, how did you, I mean, I know you talked a little bit about the process, but how did you come into this being like, okay, so I'm the fish out of water, I'm coming into here? What was that?
It was kind of like life imitating art imitating life kind of moment, because I am the youngest and person in the cast, also working on stage with all these really established great actors.
Yeah.
From Tamara to John Hill, and like all these people that I have aspired to work with for so long, working with people who raised me in TV and film, you know. And Alana actually is one of the first people I met when I moved to Chicago to go study at DePaul, because she's an alumni. She was on an alumni panel, and my father was like, get her phone number. Right. And then I saw her in a show at Steppenwolf called The Fundamentals, and I was sitting with my best friend in the audience, and I was like, this is where I want to be. This is where I want to be. And now I am there, like on stage with her, sharing space and telling an amazing story. It's really like Ayana felt like Aziza in the beginning of the process, because it's like everybody knows each other, everybody's worked with each other before. The you know, I'm just like, oh, I don't know, I'm just a youngin' here, you know,
and I'm
smiling
like, oh, you were on my wall.
Exactly, you were on my wall. Exactly, I watched you on TV growing up, and now we're colleagues, and so, you know, through that process of actually working with everyone, I settled in and I got my wiggles out. And, you know, I'm here. I'm a professional too. Like I'm in this building. Okay, but that feeling that Ayana felt is something that I let live in Aziza, and I continue to let live in her through this production, because that feeling of just being surrounded by such power and such elegance and such, you know, excellence is something that Aziza is so like attracted to and just so grateful to be a part of, you know, until stuff happened.
Did we let our listeners know that this, you know, the political family that's, if you look at the play and you're from Chicago, you see some very distinct similarities between a political family here in Chicago, down to some, you know, details. Have any of Betty from that family? Well, I'm talking about the Jackson family. Did any of them have any of them come to see the show? To your knowledge?
Not to my knowledge.
I was sitting in back of Mayor Lightfoot, and Mayor Brandon Johnson was also there that night. So people that have, you know, that know the Jackson family were there, of course, and who know politics, obviously, and I was like, during watching it, thinking, what are they thinking about right now? You know, what are these?
Listen, I hope that I understand that there is this political family in Chicago that some people may, you know, make parallels to the play.
People may make parallels, yes.
But I hope what people get from it is that it is a play about family and all types of family that deal with these kind of situations. Right. And I think that anyone that comes to the show will be able to see themselves or someone they recognize, you know, or someone they know or think they know, you know, on the stage. Because this is not, you know, an uncommon story to happen. They're, you know, about powerful families and then somebody coming in doing some weird stuff and, you know, uprooting all the work that, you know, the patriarch has, you know, established for the family. That this is a story that happens.
With powerful families and or just families, as you said, that are, you know, have a modicum of success, and then they have some flies in the ointment, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the things that I loved about this play is, as we've been talking about, is y'all deal with some like very big,
we touch on
Greek,
lot.
The Greek tragedy sides issues. Like, gosh, I'm knocking over things. That's how big they are, and yet it all comes back to everything is all rooted about this family. How do you? Was there ever the urge to, like, you know, because of these incredibly powerful monologues, your monologue in Act 2, just stop.
About the pandemic.
About the pandemic and about all of the violence and unrest and everything and how we all seem to have forgotten it.
It hit home with a lot of people.
Yeah. But, and it's so funny because, you know, I was just...
I find something new in it every night, honestly.
What is it like to say that? Because, go ahead.
I just really hope, because people really don't talk about what it was like living during that world pandemic.
Yeah.
We got through it and we're like, back into the fray.
Right, just want to just put it back and don't even think about it.
Going to the theater, nobody's wearing masks anymore, and people, and it's crazy because I say some things about people, we were afraid of anytime someone coughs, you were afraid, and we were afraid of each other's breath. And you're watching a show, you hear people cough, you hear somebody sneeze, that's really common.
We're like, she's right.
So it's like, dang. And then I wonder if people in the audience are like, oh, I just coughed.
Yes.
Dang, like that's crazy. Like nobody is thinking about that, but I just think that it, like you said, we cover a lot of topics, and I'm glad that my character brought that feeling into the space, and that's where her purpose came from, her finding her purpose, because all of us in this play are defending our purposes and or finding them or don't know what they are. It's a journey for all of us.
Do you think Brandon's finally through writing it, or do you see he's going to be making revisions?
Listen, I actually really don't know, but I would like to guess that, like, if he had, if we had like another month of rehearsal or something like that, we would find more things to incorporate or to tease and to tweeze and stuff, because this play is so massive. Like we've said, there is like so many details and so many parts of this house, the house being the play, and like, so many rooms that make me, tidying or reorganizing and things. But what we have and what we're living in right now is enough, and it's so beautiful. But you always can dust up something here and there, sweep,
or open up this closet,
open the closet and see what comes out, and then sort through those things. But I hope that we, or Brandon, gets more opportunities to really play and massage and explore and discover this play. Because I think it's a masterpiece, and it's a map.
It is. All of that. And you could see at the opening when you were all gathering for pictures, Felicia, Brandon, the cast, you could really feel by just looking at the body language of how you all feel about each other, about Brandon, and about the work you just did. And that is magic. And it comes through in the show.
And I also want to say about Aziza's, like, she is a queer, openly queer character on stage. And like you said, like you would want to play Aziza's part. I feel like she kind of is like saying or experiencing everything the audience is experiencing in real time, because these people, this family knows each other, and Aziza just came to do one little thing and then got right
I just
into
came
the
to
mix.
give your phone back, and then oh wait, I'm here now.
And now
it's got captive. I mean, they're like, you can't go, it's gonna snow.
I know, they would not try to let me.
We provide our perspective.
Nazareth is trying to save me.
Nazareth is trying to save you, and the mom swoops in almost like a Bond villain with a cat. You're like, no, you're going to stay here.
You're mine.
That should be my daughter-in-law. We'll talk about that.
One thing that I first encountered your work at Steppenwolf with last night and the night before, which you were phenomenal in.
Thank you.
This play. Like many actors, when you go see the theater, you were like, what are they doing? How would you do this? You cannot see the work.
Thank you.
It is effortless. Your moment in Act 2, I'm just like, I'm on the edge of my seat, and I'm just like, literally like watching all of you on stage, but you in particular. It really is like, this is I'm watching Aziza. And I just want to goof over you, because it is just your work, the work of the entire production team. Like, you just feel the love and the care that has gone in there, and it has become such a part of this ensemble of actors, which I know is a very big important thing for Steppenwolf. But you are clearly this unit. And you operate as this living thing.
It's crazy, because when you all saw it opening week, man, we, like you said, we had just officially gotten off book. And I said this to the cast. I was like, it literally feels like the first week we were doing it, we were literally holding hands in spirit, like holding each other and like pulling and pushing and raising each other up through this entire show, and just I could feel everybody being present for everybody. And now that we're going into our 4th week of doing the show, we are free to experiment with things and grow and like try new things and like really deepen the connections between everybody and not feel like the lines are, or not knowing the lines or something that's like
You're free. You're free.
Exactly, to grow and to try new things. And yeah, I
want to see it again at the end.
I always say come back for a second plate.
Right?
The first thing Kathy, my wife, said was, "We got to see it again." I saw you first in the Niceties at the Writers, and I thought that young woman is going to be huge because of that performance that I saw. Was that one of your first?
That was not one of my first, but that is like the second show. That's actually the first show I did that made me join Equity.
Okay.
So when I went out to Writers, because I was going to do 2 shows at Writers that season, The Niceties and Stick Fly, and my agents were like, just join Equity.
Yeah.
And then I haven't turned back ever since, obviously.
But no, you had a wise choice.
That was a powerful piece and a very pivotal piece for me in my career, and it really solidified why it is that I do what I do. I do it for my people, and I do these stories, and I tell these stories for the liberation and to, enlighten and to encourage Black people, queer people. And I'm very passionate that I get to tell a story about a Black family being a queer woman in this play. And also bringing to light, some of the complexities about what it's like being queer or being, the weird child in a family when those things aren't really talked about and or encouraged or, supported. And so it was wonderful to play this character coming into a play and coming into a story that I had to stand on something, and I had to speak up for myself because I felt like we were just getting, smushed under some stuff that wasn't progressive.
It came through in a big way. And I think as you go forward, you're going to be able to do more of that because people are going to want your voice doing what only you do, and you do so beautifully.
Thank you.
Really.
Thank you.
You definitely have 2 super fans right in this room. Yeah.
Listen, I love it here. Can I move in?
Yes, come on back anytime, but I know you got a show today. Look, please, everybody out there, do yourself a favor. Make sure you cannot miss Brandon Jacob Jenkins' Purpose at Steppenwolf. Runs through, just got extended again.
May 12th.
May 12th, and I think that's the final one because there's got something else to go on there.
Must close.
I think Laurie Metcalf might be coming out or whatever.
Something like that.
But you need to go check this out. Go to steppenwolf.org for tickets. I thank you for taking time and for coming in today.
And wanting to come in. I met her that night, and your godmother, Doris, I said, I love her. I said, she plays a queer woman. She's not queer in real life, is she, by any chance? Yes, she is. I'm getting her on the show. And I went and met you. So here you are. So thank you for wanting to come in.
Of course. I'll come in anytime I'm in the city. And I'll be here.
All right. Excellent.
And again, thank you for the beautiful work that you have done throughout your career. I'm so looking forward to watching what is next for you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Because you really there's something about you that's just. Anyway, I'm going to stop because I'm going to cry now too because I'm just so happy. Go see Purpose at Steppenwolf through May 12th. Steppenwolf.org.
Don't hesitate.
Ayana Bria Bikari, thank you so much, and have a fabulous rest of the run.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you.
We've got to take a quick break, and when we come back, there's more Out Chicago right here on WCPT.
From the heart of Chicago, it's WCPT 820. Progressive Talk Radio, where facts matter and voices fight for change. WCPT 820.
NBC News Radio, I'm Lisa Carton. A holiday season government shutdown has been avoided. The House passed a stopgap measure 366-34 over the weekend, with the Senate following suit, passing the bipartisan funding bill by a vote of 85-11. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer praised the development, capping a chaotic week that saw President-elect Trump and Elon Musk cast doubt on whether an agreement could be reached.
There will be no government shutdown right before Christmas. This is a good bill. It'll keep the government open.
President Biden signed the measure on Saturday that will keep the government fully funded through early March. Senator Ben Cardin says the country needs tougher regulations on drone flying within its borders. In an interview on Fox News Sunday, the Maryland Democrat indicated concerns over recent drone sightings across the U.S. are being overblown.
Well, in regards to the recent observations, we've been informed that there's no threat against our country.
He added that there are already a massive number of private drones that fly around the U.S. at any given time, along with planes that some concerned residents have misidentified as drones. Cardin maintained that the lack of regulation is a vulnerability that officials must ensure never becomes an actual national security threat. Laura Trump is withdrawing her name from consideration to be a Florida senator. Over the weekend, President-elect Trump's daughter-in-law made a social media post saying she had made the decision after an incredible amount of thought, contemplation, and encouragement. The move ended speculation that she was interested in replacing Republican Senator Marco Rubio, who's been named to serve as Secretary of State in the incoming administration. Laura Trump previously announced she was stepping down as co-chair of the Republican National Committee. And Sonic the Hedgehog 3 has zoomed to the top of the box office this weekend. You're listening to the latest on NBC News Radio.
This is Chicago's Progressive Talk, 820 AM, WCPT Willow Springs, and online at WCPT820.com, where facts matter.
From energy to public health, extreme weather, the economy, and more, Climate Connections makes the global local. Hear it weekdays during the Tom Hartman program and during Joan Esposito, live, local, and progressive. Right here on WCPT 820, Chicago's Progressive Talk, where facts matter.
Collaboration Radio. So let's go ahead and get him on the show. David Dismalchian.
I'm now sitting in a pretty incredible pool of gratitude. It's just like you imagine me right now, close your eyes, see a dude floating in a hot tub. The gratitude is right up to my chin, and I am grinning.
And you know, the nice thing about those hot tubs is that you can fart whenever you want. Nobody knows you farted, who farted. It's like fart free.
Collaboration Radio, Saturdays at 4.
The Dell Technologies Summer Sale event is on with limited quantity deals on top tech. Save on select PCs powered by the latest Intel Core processors like Thin and Light XPS 13 laptops, Inspiron laptops, and 2-in-1s. Plus get savings on select accessories, free shipping, and monthly payment options with Dell Preferred Account. It's the perfect season to power your passions during Dell's Summer Sale event. Save today by calling 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL. Offered to U.S. residents by WebBank, who determines qualifications for and terms of credit.
You're listening to WCPT 820, because facts matter.
I'd like to welcome you to WCPT AM's Out Chicago. Think of us as Sunday brunch with your gay best friends. Now please welcome your host, Scott Duff.
And welcome back to the second hour of Out Chicago. Scott Duff here along with Ellen Miller, rolling along.
Yes, we are.
Celebrating all things that give us comfort and joy.
Now more than ever.
And I know, we need to find those things.
We do.
So we're just rolling along. We had an embarrassment of riches with our incredible guests this year. So many people. I was going back through the list. I'm going like, oh my God, we thought, what? We did this? What?
I know. When you put it all together and see the highlights of the year, it's like we've been very fortunate to have some great guests.
It's been really, really great.
Yeah.
And hopefully we're, spreading some comfort and joy as well. And so we are going to be revisiting a couple of the conversations that we had. One we're going to be revisiting that actually happened last year. In 2023.
But it's still good to hear it.
It's still a good one.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a very good one. I cried through most of it.
I know you do.
I cry a lot. What is wrong with me?
That's why we love you, Scott. Very emotional.
It's the spirit of the season and all that jazz that goes on. But hey, not only are we providing comfort and joy for us, we want to give comfort and joy for you. So we've got prizes. I love it. Fry the Coop is the destination for hot chicken in Chicagoland, giving a Southern original, a Midwest touch, whether you want heat or no heat. Featuring chicken sandwiches, tenders, chicken and waffles. I am so hungry. And now
chicken chicken and waffles. Yum.
Girl, chicken and waffles is amazing.
I love that.
Give me a hot chicken sandwich any day of the week. And now they've got nuggets.
And, I hear they're just down the street. We love to taste your food, and we can really talk about it from our heart and our stomach.
We are. I know.
So,
well,
just where to find us.
These are everything that they do is delivering. Well, yeah.
And if they don't, I know where they hid the gift cards.
Oh, yeah. We can't do that, though. Yeah. Because according to the WCPT website.
Oh, yeah.
We can. But they're rare. But hey, everything they do is delivering happiness in each crunchy bite, proudly not using seed oils, frying all of their menu items in 100% beef tallow. Come on now. Delish. You stop by Fry the Coop today at one of its many locations from Oaklawn, Chicago, Elmhurst, Darien, Prospect Heights, Tinley Park, and Bolingbrook. You can have no heat, mild, medium, hot, or crazy insanity. I cannot do the crazy insanity. I have tried.
Yeah, that's too much.
It's a lot.
I do like hot, but crazy insanity. I know when to draw the line.
No.
Forget about it.
But to celebrate, Fry the Coop has given WCPT $25 gift cards as our little gift to you. So caller number 3. Today is a perfect day for some hot chicken.
Oh, yeah, it is.
Don't you think?
Oh, definitely.
I mean, because it's cold out, and I love it when you eat a hot chicken sandwich and you kind of feel a little heat. It makes the top of your head sweat. It's good. So caller number 2. We're just going to do caller number 2. We'll get a $25 gift card to Fry the Coop. Just give us a call, 773-763-9278. 773-763-9278. That will get you a $25 gift card to Fry the Coop. And just a reminder, contests running on WCPT 820 are open to listeners 18 or older and residents of the greater Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana area. 1 entry per person, 1 winner per household. Void where prohibited by law. Listeners may only win or qualify to win once every 30 days. Don't be greedy. Andy from Evanston, you cannot call. You cannot get chicken. You'll have to go there yourself. Complete rules are available on our website at WCPT820.com by clicking the contest tab. So again, caller number 2, 2773-763-9278. There we are.
Good luck, everybody.
Good luck out there. So again, we've had an embarrassment of riches for incredible folks on here. And I could not think of 2 people that just make me happier than Chicago icons, Alexandra Billings and Honey West. They have been entertaining audiences across the globe for decades. But I remember tipping into the Gentry on Halstead and seeing them, and they're just delightful human beings. They are best friends, and this summer these 2 besties made the Mercury Theater in Chicago. They turned it into the Gentry.
Oh, what a great show it was!
Yeah, it was fantastic, and and they had 2 sold-out shows, and we got to chat with them before their big gay cabaret. Here is our conversation with Alexandra Billings and Honey West.
I'm Jen Grosshandler.
And I'm Chazzy Grosshandler.
We're with the Gender Cool Project, and you're listening to
Out Chicago!
Woot!
That always makes me smile.
Chazzy makes me giggle. There we are. Welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff and Ella Miller rolling along. Super duper duper beyond duper pooper excited about our next 2 guests because they are 2. They're incredible human beings.
Yes,
two icons are back together again for 2 nights of the Big Gay Cabaret at the Mercury Theater, August 9th and 10th. The legendary duo and real-life besties. Welcome back to the show, Alexandra Billings and Honey West.
Welcome.
Hello.
Hi, kids.
Hi there. Good to have you.
Honey, are you there?
Here.
Oh, yeah, I am.
Okay, great. Hi, babes. Hi, how are you? First of all, hey, before we get started chatting on everything, I just want to say congratulations on some of the recent stuff that you've been doing. Honey West, you just slayed in Theo Ubikwe's A Little Night Music. As my arm felt, there we are. Alexandra, you had a lovely little concert at a little tiny hall in New York.
Carnegie.
Maybe by the name of Carnegie. Congratulations, my friends.
Thanks, friend. It was super fun. It was unbelievable and super fun.
Yeah. You know, I'm so glad that I have the two of you together because I've got a question. How did you two meet?
God, we keep getting asked this question, and neither of us can remember.
I'm sure.
We're so incredible. I think at first, but we can't. We literally can't remember. Honey, you go. You tell this better than I do.
Well, when I was doing Dirty Dreams at Puj Studios on Broadway, she was doing Gertrude Stein and Companion at Straw Dog. So I think our paths initially crossed there, but we may have heard about each other a little bit, but I think that's when we actually met, if I remember.
Wow. Okay, so it began as you two were working actors, theater artists here in Chicago. But when did I mean, was it Vampire Lesbians of Sodom? Was that the first show that y'all did together, or?
It is the first theatrical show. Yeah.
Yeah. Look at that.
Was Vampires the first thing we did together as actors?
I think so. Did we?
Did we? I really don't remember. Did we? It's so sad.
That's okay.
Did we do Vampires before we sang together?
Oh, yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, because I think so, because Doug Hartzell had come in and saw me perform Cabaret and then asked me to be a part of Vampires. I believe that's how it happened.
Wow.
All right. And then
figuring it out right here on Ouch.
And then from there, you two, look, all I'm hoping for, I cannot wait to be there on Friday, by the way, because I am having this giant flood of memories and nostalgia. My biggest wish is that the Mercury Theater somehow was magically transformed to the interior of Gentry on Halstead, because there were several wonderful nights hanging out there among those high boys, the tables, and also probably the high boys who were over in the corner, but just kind of both watching the two of you do your cabaret show. Honey, what stands out from that era? Because that really is for me, that cemented my young queer Chicago experience, was seeing the two of you perform together.
Yeah, well, when I first started to put on makeup and sing, people weren't very interested. In fact, they looked at me like I was kind of crazy because I wasn't Mimi Marks from the Baton, or I wasn't all camp, just, being a camp queen. So they really thought that I didn't fit into a mold. So I asked, it was Tim Carr at the time before Gentry, and I said, when's your slowest time? He said, Sunday afternoons. I said, give me 2 hours. And then that's how I started working. I created a slot that didn't exist because nobody wanted me. So many, many years later, I pulled crowds, so they kept me around. And I used to do the earlier show, and then they booked Alex for the later show. And then we started crossing over, I guess is what happened.
Is there any, well, of course, you definitely, because there were always those moments of the two of you together. Is there any moment, Alexandra, that kind of stands out about your time performing? I remember one night watching you, you were up there singing. I think you and Honey were up there, and you had a cordless mic, and it was summertime or springtime, and the doors were open, and all of a sudden you, the open window doors, the French doors, and you just kind of plopped on outside, and you just started walking up and down Halstead, just doing the show outside, and we're like, I'm just gonna go over here. Is there any it was such a fun time, at least for an audience member. What are some of the memories that you have of that particular venue?
Well, you know,
things
those days are sort of gone, you know.
Yeah.
Which is really sad because a lot of those clubs have closed. The days of the old piano bar, because that's really what Honey and I worked in. We did nightclubs, but we really sort of played mostly piano bars. And the difference is at a nightclub, which is basically what we're doing at the Mercury. You come out and you do a set or a couple of sets, and then you leave. Like that's it. And in a piano bar, you're there for 5-6 hours, you know, singing constantly and talking and making conversation, and it's much more relaxed. But it's also as much fun as it was, and it was an incredibly joyful time. It was also an incredible amount of work because you have to remember, as much fun as y'all were having, y'all were also drunk and high. You know, giving hand jobs in the back. And Honey and I...
the good old days.
Yeah. Honey and I were tap dancing, trying to get our tassels to stay on. So it was very joyful. I don't mean to say that it wasn't, but it was also an incredible amount of work. And I'll never forget the first time I played an actual club, which was, I think, Pops for Champagne was my first. Yeah, it was my first nightclub, and they said, I got the guy, you know, they called me and they said, we want you to come and sing. I was like, great. And it was a straight club in a straight part of town. I was like, perfect. This is exactly what I want to do. And they said, the set is from 8 to 9:30. And I said, oh, great. Well, when is the second set? And they said, no, that's it.
Yeah.
I said, what?
What?
And they said, no, that's it. And I said, I don't even know that I could do an hour and a half. I don't even know what that means. So, because I had been so used to stretching my music out for, 4 or 5 hours.
Right.
So, once I started to play the nightclubs, I really didn't go back to the piano bars.
Right.
You tasted the other life.
It's a lot less work.
Well, yeah, I found that we could do, or I could do, and Honey and I found this out together as we started to play theaters, that we could do what we did in those piano bars in an hour and a half and have just as much fun and be just as ridiculous and then, be home, before the sun comes up on Denny's.
Right.
So can you give us an idea of what you both have in store for us with the Big Gay Cabaret happening this weekend at the Mercury?
Well, I think a lot of people...
What are you going to do, girl?
Give us a little tease. Give us a teaser of what's going on.
What Scott said, I think it's the same for us. And many people that knew us back then, it's a nostalgia. It's bringing back a lot of feelings and memories, and it was a different time. So we're going to do some of the stuff that people expect because they're asking for it. And then we'll do, typically we'll do a little banter and some opening, and then I will do a set, and then a little more duets and bantering. Alex does a set, and then, there's different ways we can end the show once we get well into it. So it's kind of a formula, but we're still we have a lot of flexibility.
Okay.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to happen, in other words.
Well, and you got some space, too. It was supposed to be in the Venus Cabaret, but y'all were just selling tickets like nobody's business, and they moved you to the big space in the Mercury Theater.
Yeah. And because of that, there'll be big dance numbers.
There's going to be
That's right. Exactly.
So much dancing from the two of you.
Okay. Who knew?
I love that. Now, look, I've seen Alexandra wield a sword. You don't want to see her dance.
Yeah,
so.
Alexandra, speaking of seeing you, I've seen you on the Steppenwolf stage a couple of times. The Berlin Circle, I recall, A Time to Burn. Any plans to be back on a Chicago theatrical stage in an acting role anytime soon?
It's difficult, and the reason is because going to Chicago and doing a play requires a long period of time,
right?
Because of rehearsal and then actually doing the show. So a lot of times I say yes because I want to come back to Chicago, and I've been offered 2 or 3 things, but the problem is every time I say yes, something happens in L.A.
Yeah.
there's a TV thing or a movie thing or some kind of thing, and I hate to make commitments and break them.
Yeah.
So every time I go in, I say, listen, I'm saying yes now, but, if ABC calls, I got to go. And the theaters have always been very understanding, and they're like, well, we can't promise people that you're going to be here, and then you're not here. And so it's really hard. I think I would have to find something that was happening at a time when Hollywood is sort of dead, which is usually like now. And and do it then and make it sort of a short run. But it's not for lack of want.
I understand.
It's not for lack of want.
A lot of the Steppenwolf ensemble members have the same issues. It's been hard. We finally got Laurie Metcalf back after years of trying to get her back on stage from one, they often get the same kind of compliment. That's fame for you, Alexander. That's what happens when you're that popular. So
listen, there are far worse problems to have.
Yes,
honey.
there are.
So I'm very grateful.
Yes, very grateful. I hear you.
I'm very grateful for the two of you because, again, I've known both of you since, for a long time, and you two have known each other since Jesus was in diapers. And watching your chemistry and your talent together is always just really, really inspiring and just a delight. But it's also, it's very heartfelt because you two have really been bosom buddies for decades. I want to ask both. Here's my Barbara Walters question.
Here we go.
To both of you, what do you admire most about the other person?
Very good.
I have always tried to surround myself with people who were smarter and kinder and had a gift that I didn't have. And that certainly is Honey. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, more than anything, is her ability to be a truth teller. And that has saved my life.
Yeah.
She has been able to say to me many, many times, don't do this or do this. She really is the main reason I have a Hollywood career, because I came out here and I was very reticent. And I said, I just done something, ER or something, and I said, I didn't like it out there. They're sort of mean and transphobic and icky. And she said, but listen, they're casting you. Mm-hmm. And you have to, she's the one who explained this to me. In order for the rules to change, you actually have to go in and play the game. So go in and say yes to everything. And then once you get it, then start saying no. And that has really worked for the last 15 years for me. So her love and friendship has saved my life many, many, many times.
Wow. That's heavy.
Honey, how does that make you feel?
Oh, wonderful. I always looked up to her because she was always so calm, so confident. Mm-hmm. And I was never confident. And I would see her do things that would just take a room and wrench them into a knot and then make them laugh. I was always in awe of what she was able to do and how she beat down doors, especially in the theatrical world, before I did. And probably I might not have had that opportunity if it had not been for her. The world has changed so much. Mm-hmm. And what I want to tell people now is that just because you don't see me, or I don't need you to see me for me to exist, a lot of people are judging all of marginalized people on whether they see that in you, whether they see if you're a woman or if they see that you're a gay man. And you don't have to see me for me to exist. So it's okay. Don't see me, but I'm still here. Mm-hmm. And
yeah, well, let me tell you, the two of you really, you've been inspirations for me for a very, very long time. And I, again, happy to call you friends, proud to call you friends, and I'm so freaking excited to come and see you all at the Big Gay Cabaret, because you really the two of you are just like extra. You're extra special. There's something remarkable, and with all the work that you both do. So thank you for bringing so much joy. Thank you for bringing so much inspiration. Thank you for allowing the queer community and beyond a place to gather and to feel things deeply and to contemplate some really big ideas, and also throw in a fart joke at the end. It's like
what's the show without a good fart joke?
I don't know. That's why I do a good fart joke, or I try to, at least every show that we have here. Listen, my friends, living legends, inspirational performance, and pretty swell humans to boot. Thank you so much for joining us today. Chicago cannot wait to come see the Big Gay Cabaret featuring Honey West and Alexandra Billings, August 9th and 10th at the Mercury Theater.
And are there tickets still available?
I don't know. I mean, there might be
I'm guessing we're almost sold out.
And ticket, maybe two. But if you need to, go to biggaycabaret.com. Honey West, Alexandra Billings, you are superstars and wonderful humans. Can't wait to see you at the Big Gay Cabaret.
Break a leg this weekend.
Thanks, guys.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Take care. Thank you.
All right, we've got to take a quick break, and when we come back, it is the final thrilling show-stopping moments about Chicago right here on WCPT.
Around the Town, Chicago, with Al Besloff.
My wife wants to yell at me. Jane?
Hi, I wanted to tell you, I think you said Jane Hathaway. It's Anne.
Anne Hathaway. Well, that's Frank said that. That's Frank. That was Frank, but he was thinking of you, that's why. Okay, go back to getting dressed. I knew she was going to call, because I knew she was listening, and you make a mistake, Jane will catch you. So every time.
Sunday afternoons at 1 on WCPT 820.
Hey there, it's Carrie Joy with your Work Money Minute. Today, I'm talking about why, if you've got savings, you need a high-yield savings account. High yield just means high interest. The money the bank pays you for keeping your money with them. You will probably find the highest yield savings accounts at an online bank. Just go on and Google and do some research and figure out who's offering the highest rates right now. Now, lately, it's been between 4 and 5%. That is your savings earning real interest. And okay, figuring out all the details of opening a new bank account can be very annoying, but I bet you can probably get one going in less than an hour. So give yourself 60 minutes and get it done. I've done it. You'll thank yourself when you see your money making money for doing nothing. For more everyday money help, check out my videos at Work Money Media on YouTube. Till next time, this is Carrie Joy saying, take good care.
Alexa, play WCPT.
WCPT from TuneIn.
Welcome back. I'm Kim Hunt with Affinity Community Services. You're listening to Out Chicago on WCPT.
Welcome back to Out Chicago. Scott Duff here and Ella Miller rolling along, celebrating things that bring us comfort and joy this holiday season. And I want to congratulate Peter from Oakbrook, who won a gift card to Fry the Coop.
Way to
Talk
go,
about
Peter.
comfort and joy. Hot chicken. Yum.
5475 North Milwaukee.
There
Feel free to drop it off. Drop us off the pipe.
I just have to say beef tallow. Come
Yes,
on.
Beef tallow.
Come on. Delish. Fry it up. Anyway.
It's good to fry French fries in, too.
I know. Same with duck fat. I've got some duck fat in my fridge. I also have, I'm weird. I've got pate and duck fat in my, what's wrong with me?
That's what makes you
There's
that
something wrong
unique
with me.
unicorn that you are.
It is. And also what makes me a unique unicorn is I love the holidays. I love them so very much. And I also love a holiday special. I was a kid in the 70s and just got them all. Love him. And Emmet Otter's Jug Band Christmas is a staple in our house. And last year, the stage production of that show delighted Chicago audiences and introduced a whole new generation to the show. We got a chance to talk to the one and only amazing singer, songwriter, actor, all-around stellar human being, Paul Williams, about the show and his career, and I cried for most of the conversation. So
Yes,
here is our talk. Yes, it's longer than a year, but it's the holiday season, and I have to do it. So here's our conversation with Paul Williams.
He is a singer. I'm probably not even going to be able to get through this introduction. Oh, no. He is a singer, songwriter, author, a Grammy, Golden Globe, and Academy Award winner, and he was a fixture of my childhood, and he is now joining us on the phone. Mr. Paul Williams, welcome to the show.
It's delighted to be here. Thank you for the lovely, lovely introduction. It's fabulous to be here. Life is wonderful.
Well, we're delighted to have you.
Okay, yep, I am already tearing up right here, so I'm going to apologize.
Scott's younger than I am, Paul, so you were a fixture of my adulthood, but you're a fixture of his childhood. So.
Listen, I'm 83. I'm 83. I feel like a tired 34. I've never been more comfortable in my own skin, and more. I'm impressed with my ability to walk through these days with this Jiminy Cricket attitude that I have while the world is just going to it's like I'm wearing a T-shirt that says I'm with the band, and it's got a stack of the books that have been banned, and it's just I have a solid position. I'm going to stay positive no matter what happens.
Good for you. We've got to do that in these dark times for sure.
We most certainly do. I mean, look, here's the thing. I mean, you were Paul freaking Williams, okay? I put up, I posted on social media that I had the opportunity to chat with you, and people lost their minds. They were like, oh my gosh, please tell him that, the Phantom of the Paradise is amazing. Please tell him that his work with the Carpenters was incredible. Of course, the Muppets, I am the Jim Henson lover in me is going insane. Do you ever just sit back and go, whoa, I did that?
You know what? When I was drinking, I'm 33 years sober. When I was drinking, I was quite impressed at how bright I was, and I began to write from that really bright mind, and instead of from the center of the chest, that little kid's place that goes, oh God, pick me up and love me. Spent my life writing codependent anthems and everything, and then when I started to get successful, and when I began to, I always joked that alcohol made me big enough to feel like I was big enough to deal with the rest of the world, and cocaine made me feel like I could shoot basketball for money. And there's, when your confidence begins to drift into arrogance, what you begin to create begins to be really impressive to the the person who thinks he's creating, and does not really connect to the world around you because you're beginning to disconnect from that world. I will tell you in sobriety, this is the longest answer hopefully you'll get from me today, but I have to tell you that at this point in my life, my name is on all those wonderful, wonderful projects. But I mean, if I backed up the influences and just, that sense of where is this coming from? This is just all a gift. It's the stories. It's the essence of Jim Henson. It's handing me a book, that has this amazing story of Emmet, Otter, and his ma, and this kind of rewritten, retelling of the Gift of the Magi that is so magical that what I write for it just pours out of me. So I have a much healthier attitude about all this, and an ego, I think, a little more in check than it used to be. But what you're describing is what I call heart payment. Somebody comes up and says, my mom was a single mom, and You and Me Against the World was an important song to us, for me and for Kenny, and I wrote that song with. We go, oh, God, thank you.
Aww.
Oh, no, Paul Williams, let me tell you, I remember sitting down, my mom, okay, sorry, I had a single mom, and the two of us sat down and we watched Emmet Otter's Jug Band Christmas together, and it gave me all the feels. It's giving me all the feels right now. My husband, he was just telling me about how he would watch Emmet Otter's Jug Band Christmas, and then he's from Mississippi, and he would go out into the woods, and he would literally just roam the woods as a little child singing the music. comes through, and it's right. I know, like, oh my God, could you be any gayer? Like, that was just like the gayest thing on the planet. But it's like your music and your words have a profound effect on people. So
let me interrupt and say two things. And this is not going to take hours and all, but I want to say two things. When you start crying, there's a part of my very essence that just reaches out, puts my arms around you and pulls you closer to me, because this is exactly what I need out of this world, is people with open hearts like that. That speaks so much about your strength to me.
Aww.
That speaks totally about your strength to me. And now I want to brag about this, the fact that this is out anything. In 1977, before my gay daughter was born, I took out a full-page ad against Anita Bryant in Daily Variety. I took out an ad that said, "Mr. and Mrs. Paul Williams, in response to Anita Bryant's crusade, have stopped drinking ... screwdrivers," which is made with orange juice.
Yes.
It was, and when my daughter married her partner managed to find that ad, which my daughter didn't know about, and framed it and gave it to her. And it's on the wall between their bedroom and their kids' bedroom, my grandkids' bedroom. And so for me to be speaking to you, I want you to know that I come to you as feeling as if I'm being enfolded right now by part of my tribe, and I hope that I can always rise to be the kind of advocate that is desperately needed right now in this world.
You have a beautiful and open heart, and it's evident from the start by the kind of music you have and songs you have penned over the years. So you've put it out there for people, and people like Scott and so many in the world have felt your open heart, Paul. So we thank you for that.
Thank you. And I feel just right back.
Paul, you've written so many iconic songs in your prolific career. One of my very favorites is "We've Only Just Begun."
Yes!
And it has an amazing origin story. And I have a feeling a lot of our listeners don't know that story about how the Carpenters ended up turning it into one of the all-time great pop songs of our lifetimes. Can you share that origin story of "We've Only Just Begun"?
I would. I love talking about Karen and Richard. I mean, they changed my world. I started writing in 1967 with a guy named Roger Nichols. I met him through another guy named Biff Rose. Roger and I started writing for about 4 years. We wrote songs that were recorded. They were album cuts. They were B-sides. We never heard anything on the radio. I mean, it was like, are we ever going to hear it? And, when you're in your 20s, 3 years is like a lifetime. So it's like, oh, God, that's it. We were making a great living. Nobody knew who we were. And all of a sudden, one day, there's a knock on Roger's office door. We have both right offices at A&M Records. And it's Herb Alper, and he says, "I want to introduce you to A&M's newest recording artist, Herb. These are the Carpenters, Richard and Karen." And they looked at us and they said, "Oh my God, we love your recording of Trust by the Peppermint Trolley Company. And Steve Lawrence's Drifter is great." And it's like they knew, and we were like, "Oh my God, we're famous. We're famous. Somebody actually knows who we are." And that was the beginning of our relationship. And Roger and I wrote a song. It was on the B-side of "Close to You," but it was the B-side. It was not the single. And we desperately, anything we wrote, we would want to show it to Karen and Richard to get to your story about. "We've Only Just Begun" had all the romantic beginnings of a bank commercial. Roger and I were writing, and a friend of his was a great lyricist named Tony Asher. Tony Asher wrote the lyrics that God Only Knows for Brian Wilson, a great writer.
Great song.
And Tony had the job to write this song for a commercial. It was very different. There was no pitch. It was just going to show a young couple getting married, driving off into the sunset after the ceremony. The kiss, the ceremony, driving off into the sunset, and it said, "You got a long way to go. We'd like to help you get there, the Crocker Bank." Tony Asher went out and went skiing and broke his hand. He was on pain pills. He said, I'm loopy. I can't do this. I've recommended you and Roger. And I said, I don't want to write a bank commercial. Roger said, come on, let's try. I said, I don't want to write a bank commercial. He said, there's a creative fee. I said, let's write this bank commercial. And of course, you know. So we wrote probably in an afternoon. I think it took us maybe a couple of hours. He came up with the music, and I wrote the lyrics. And we completed it as a complete song just in case anybody was going to want to record it. Understand at the time the number one album in the country was Inagata Davida. So this was not a song that was probably going to get recorded. This was not a song that was ever going to be a single, and this was certainly not a song that was going to be a major hit. And that all changed when an angel sang it, because Richard recognized my voice on the commercial, called and said, is there a complete song? We said, yeah, funny you should ask. And when they recorded it, and when we heard it the first time, oh my God, we looked at each other and went, is anybody else going to hear how beautiful this is, what we're hearing? And it turned out that everybody
They
did.
sure
it was
did.
A life changer. Oh my God.
And still do. And still do to this day. It's a wonderful song. Thank you for that song, Paul.
Oh, I know. Thank you for all the music. We have been sitting here listening to, the past week, we have just been on a Paul Williams kind of overload, especially as we're getting ready for heading into the holidays here in Chicago with Emmet Otter's jug band Christmas. Now, you had worked with Jim Henson, I believe, on The Muppet Show, and then you had an opportunity to write the music, the words of the music for Emmet Otter's jug band Christmas. Is that how that collaboration began?
Yeah, exactly. I showed up in England to do the first season of The Muppet, and it was like I was a huge fan. I mean, from every morning on the road with my band, we'd watch Sesame Street, and Bert and Ernie taught us which forks to look to use. I was a huge fan, and I made a fan of Jim's all the way back to the Ed Sullivan Show with the Slinkies and the Mana and all that.
Yep.
But I never, there's a tree house in Emmet Otter's Jug Band Christmas, and the kids are up, the guys, the jug band is practicing up in that tree. And I never had a tree house experience as a kid until I met Jim Henson. And when I walked on the set of the Muppet movie and I met all the guys, all the Muppet performers, it was like all of a sudden I'm in the tree house. The level of humor is amazing. The hearts are open and large and accepting, and it was just wow. And Jim asked me, he handed me the book of Emmet Otter, and he said, there's a script being written right now. We're going to do a 1-hour special. Would you write the songs? Words and music. And I did. And it's interesting because the songs are very Americana, and it's not really what I was writing, but the story spoke to me. Jim's energy is in anything and everything I've written that had anything to do with the Muppets, including the Muppet Christmas Carol, which was written. I wrote words and music for that after Jim had passed. But he is absolutely in every word. I feel his presence.
Oh. And
yeah, look at the birds up a tree. We're not birds, we're a jug band.
Scott forgot to mention something. He buried the lead. Scott, tell Paul what you named your dog.
Oh, my dog is named Emmet Otter.
That was one of the first things shared with me when I heard about it today. I said, "Oh my God, that's wonderful." Well,
yeah,
and I wound up with guinea pigs because they look so much like otters. I get it.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. So. He's great. He's in a jug band. He's doing a good job.
What could be wrong? He's in a jug band.
I know. When we got him, he was kind of pancakey and slinky against the sides of the wall, and he's so very sweet and so very earnest. I'm like, oh my gosh, you're Emmet Otter. So that's where it came from. Again, my husband wants me to personally thank you for Where the River
that's wonderful.
Meets the Sea. It's such wonderful music, and this is.
It's what I call a heart payment. To find out that you're petting somebody named Emmet every day, it's a heart payment. I love it.
It is. I love that.
Okay, so I'm okay, holding it together. So, as you were transitioning, because it was this amazing, clearly had a profound effect on me as a child, you taking this beloved television special and adapting it for the stage. Have there been any challenges, or was that more for, like, I guess the puppeteers? Because, like, you're like, my songs are golden. There we go.
Well, it's interesting because I get this feeling sometimes in just my life in general that somebody's whispering to us every now and then. It's just that for this just began with Tim McDonald, who loved Emmet Otter and always believed that it should be it would make a great stage musical. A few additional songs and with humans playing in the puppet roles, but also having the original Muppets and all there. So he loved the idea, and he also loved Chris Catelli's work, and was a big fan of Chris, and he invited Chris to lunch, and he sat down, and he said, I'd love to do something with you. Is there anything that you'd really love to do that you haven't done? And he said, Emmet Otter's Jug Band Christmas, and it was like, boing, the sun came out. And all of a sudden, I had a bit of a background with the Goodspeed Theater because I'd been doing developing Happy Days, a musical with Gary Marshall at the Goodspeed, and it just seemed to fall into place. And we did a couple Christmases in a row up at the Goodspeed. And then, then it finally made it to New York. And when it made it to New York in 2020, it had grown up to be a really wonderful stage musical. And we had it's like I couldn't have written better reviews. God bless the New York Times and everybody that saw it said all these wonderful things. And of course, like everybody else, we got closed by COVID. The actors, I never saw. I'm so sad. I never saw it in New York because I was in my hotel room testing positive every day for about 2 weeks, and by the time I was negative, they closed it. So this is the first time I've seen it since the Goodspeed is here at the Studebaker, which is a great place to see it.
Do you have a favorite moment in Emmet Otter?
Well, there's this spiritual presence of Otter who is not in the original. They talk about Paul Otter and Paul's favorite song, "When the River Meets the Sea," and all, and there are two moments in the musical that are really special to me. One is that when they, at the end of it, and not to give anything away, does anyone who haven't seen it, but when Ma and Emmet both enter a contest trying to buy presents in New York, beautiful Christmas presents for each other, and they lose. They're walking back. There is this wonderful moment when two things occur. One is that they realize that the two songs that they've been singing, work really beautifully together. And they sing together and get hired as the Doc Bullfrog's Tavern. Doc Bullfrog. So I love that moment of how no becomes a gift, which has been solid in my life. And the other thing is when the river meets the sea, it will always have such a special meaning for me because right after the Muppet movie, Jim passed and they performed "When the River Meets the Sea" at his memorial, and it's just a song that is about just the gifts of Jim Henson's life and all the philosophy and the caring and the elegance of kindness that is the thing that survives, I think, most powerfully in Jim's memory. So those moments are really serious, and there's actually a song now that I've added to the score that the ghost of Paul Otter sings to Alice when she's thinking to herself that you're just a foolish old dreamer. And he sings, "Alice, keep dreaming. I'm right here beside you. I'm close as the sun when it's warm in your fur. I'm with you in spirit. When the wind blows, you'll hear it whispering, Alice, my own. Keep the faith, girl. You're never alone. I hope you'll come and see it. Your listeners will come and see it because it's one of my favorite moments ever to have that spirit, which feels absolutely like Jim Henson. And did I make anybody cry?
Yeah, Scott's crying, and I'm about to cry.
Gosh, I'm a mess.
This show is perfect.
I love you, Paul.
This show is perfect for these times. It really is. This is what we need. A show like this.
Oh, lovely. Thank you.
Well, thank you.
True. And thank you for carrying on the legacy of the elegance of kindness.
Yes.
And thank you for the music, and thank you for the love. And several people have also been like, thank you for being so open about your road with recovery and sobriety. You really have been a guidepost for so many people, and you've touched so many folks.
I'm nothing but grateful, and Scott, I'm nothing but grateful, and I think that the gratitude and generosity are fuel. I think if anybody feels like their life is a little bogged down, go out and do something in service to another human being and watch everything get better.
Amen to that, Paul.
There you go. Amen to that. All right, I'm going to pull myself together so I can do this outro. Make sure that you check out Emmet Otter's Chuck Band Christmas at Chicago's historic Studebaker Theater. It's running through December 31st. It officially opens tomorrow, so break a tail. It features songs by the legendary Paul Williams. If you want to find out, get some tickets, go to fineartsbuilding.com/Studebaker. Paul Williams, again, thank you so much for just making my day.
It's a
you guys are delightful. Come and say hi. Just come and come and grab me by the nape of the neck and say, "Come here," and give me a big hug. I really look forward to it.
I will, but I've got COVID.
He's
right
got
now,
COVID.
So
He's not in the studio. But
oh my God!
Are you going to be in town for a little while, or are you just going to be here for tomorrow?
I'm going. I actually just spent this weekend. I just got back. I was here. I spent the weekend in Brookshire at a museum where they did a retrospective. I'm going to go home to Huntington Beach for about a week and everything. I'll be back, I think, on the 6th. I'll be here for about 5 days with my kids and grandkids coming in to see it as well. So hopefully you'll be testing negative by then and can come and we can say hi and break bread or something.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Oh my gosh, that's great. I'll give you my number, Paul. Can I call you Paul?
Well,
okay.
Yeah, you know what? You've got my number, and please use it. Shoot me a text, and I'll get you all the contact information.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh my gosh,
he will love that.
Here. All right, Paul Williams, go and be magical.
Thank you, Paul Williams. We love having you with us.
I love you all. You have made my day. God bless.
Yep, and I am crying.
He's crying again. Crying a
just
year
listening
later.
to it. Like, it really was like a very big moment for me.
That's sweet,
and
Scott. You're sweet.
I'm such a mess.
That's okay.
But anyway, we want nothing but comfort and joy for all of you out there, not just this week, but like throughout the year. So thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. I hope everybody has a lovely holiday. We have both Hanukkah and Christmas falling on the same calendar this year, week. So I'm going to celebrate a little tonight at City Weiner. I'm going to see Michael McDermott's Mischief and Mistletoe. It's tonight and tomorrow. Actually, going tomorrow night.
All right, well,
so
fantastic.
There's still time to do that and enjoy the holiday any way you see fit. Just make sure you do it with joy and love in your heart.
There you go. So thank you, Devin and Paul, for putting everything together for today. It was amazing. Ellen, thank you so much. Merry Christmas to you.
And happy birthday.
I know, my birthday's coming up.
Next time I see you, you'll be a year older.
I'm going to be real old. All right. And Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Holidays. Find something that brings you comfort and joy. And until next week, I'm Scott Duff. Stay proud.
Choose Views with Richard Chew.